Hey everyone, how you doing? My name is Jack Davies. I'm a local musician residing in the Walyalup area. I'm going to take you around town today and show you a few places that I've been enjoying, mulling around, spending a bit of time looking at and enjoying their company of the place, physical surroundings. And I hope you enjoy. You might have been these places, you might not. Regardless, you could probably go there again or for the first time. But anyhow, I hope you enjoy the ramshackle, totally non-formal and totally a lot of fun journey, and I'll see you on the other side. Alright, this is King Square, the corner. There's been a lot of different shops here, or not that many, but there's been a couple. This spot's very important to me, ironically considering all the construction noise, but I've been busking here for the past fair while now, and probably the best memories I've ever made busking has been on this corner, and it's a real community. This is King Square. This is the spot I actually busk, and I've kind of made most of my living for the past couple of years. As you can see, the spot rings out into this whole area here. It's a very beautiful spot to look out onto, and I've had some great memories here. Many a time I'd be standing here or busking on the corner and someone would walk along down High Street or down the other road, and we'd meet up and sit around and have a bit of sushi from Haru's, or sometimes people would come along and bring a banjo or bring a mandolin, bring another amp even. I've had times here where there's been 4 of us, each with their own amp, kind of linking up. But a lot of friends who work down High Street as well. And they'll sometimes come by and we'll link up for a jam. This is another one of the fine busking spots around Fremantle. Not one that I've frequented much recently, but perks of the spot do include all the drunks up here in the balcony. They can't give you money, but they can yell at you to play Wonderwall, and I think that's exactly what happened last time I was here, and probably the reason I would come back. But nonetheless, I still love the place, and it's a very pivotal point in Fremantle for buskers and street performers. This is Munchie's skate park. Spent many a day here from when I was, I can't remember what age, but quite a lot younger than I am now, and still come back when I can. Unfortunately, at the moment it's closed because of the virus, but remains a really huge part of my life, I guess. The reason it's named Munchies is after a fast food outlet right next door, just over here, called Captain Munchies, 24/7. I can still remember being 14 years old and face planting onto the concrete right here, just like it was yesterday. These are some of the fondest memories I have of this town. It's endless days with my friends and my friends' friends, and all the people who like skating, and all the BMXers and all the skiers, all coming together as one, having a bit of exercise, having a bit of fun, making a bit of art with a bit of wood and some wheels. And it truly is a beautiful spot. Back when I used to skate here, and when everyone used to skate here, there was no such thing as a new Esplanade Park. This is all there was in Freo in terms of skate parks, and it was great. It was great. It's beautiful. Couldn't ask for a better place to skate, I think. I remember once buying a big apple juice, a 2 litre. We used to always go to the Coles, the Wool Stores Coles up the road, and skate back here. We'd be in the summer heat, so it'll get very hot. So we'd always get juice, or whatever we could, any sort of sport drink or whatever you're feeling, really, whatever money you had. I remember getting a big 2 litre bottle of apple juice once and drinking the whole thing, and getting some of the worst stomach pains I've had my whole life. If anyone's ever drunk 2 litres of apple juice in one go, I don't advise it. But yeah, one of the many fun memories I have around this. So this is Woolstores, the ledge. Probably one of the most historic skate spots in Fremantle. And I think anybody who has ever ridden a skateboard and around Fremantle will know this place and have spent a great deal of time with it. Many a counsellor has tried to cap these ledges, put metal bars to prevent kids from skating on them, but they have failed and they will continue to fail. If anyone ever curbs up this spot, it'll be a true tragedy to the great culture and history of Fremantle skating scene. And I wish that day never comes. That's all I can say. This is the pub. I miss the pub. So this is the High Street Hill. This is the route I walk down and go to King Square for a busk. As you can see, it's not that steep, but it's a lot steeper when you look at it in person. But it sure is long, and it sure is not the funnest to walk up. So I've had a lot of time on this hill to recount my blues and think about other things that are troubling you on your way. Go get a few dollars, maybe a few pieces of sushi, see a few friends. That's generally what the High Street Blues song's about. But yeah, this is a very beautiful and important road. As you can see, it's got a school, got a church here, got some Airbnbs, all sorts of good stuff at the High Street Hill. The spot right here this actually used to be a pizza place. Now it is something else. But back when it was a pizza place, I remember coming here one of the very first dates, and it wasn't at the pizza shop. We were going somewhere else, so we're getting a takeaway. But we bought the pizza and waiting for them to make it, and we were waiting a while, so we asked where it went, and turns out some lady came into the store and stole it off the counter, and so promptly they made us another one. But that was a bit of a funny tale. And subsequently, a few months later, the place ended up shutting. So I hope they weren't getting thieved too hard. But I know it's hard to make a buck out here. But they were doing a good job, and it was a fun memory I still think about from time to time. Hey again, I hope you enjoyed the journey. Sorry it was a little bit strange and short, but those are a few places that mean a lot more to me than I can put into words, so I'll just mumble and attempt to put into words, and perhaps that's a little bit strange, but I hope it was enjoyable at least to witness, or watch, or be amused by. Regardless, have a wonderful day and enjoy walking around Walyalup on your own, maybe tomorrow or later in the afternoon if you're watching this in the morning. See ya.
Hi, I'm Carla Geneve and I'm here in Walyalup. I'm going to show you some of my favourite places around the area, but first I want to pay respect to elders past and present. I'm on Aboriginal land, always was, always will be. So yeah, here we go. Alright, here I am at Davies Beach, just at the bottom of High Street in Freo. I love this beach. I had my first swim of 2019 here. It was a really good New Year's, and yeah, it's just great. I think it's so cool how it's so close to Freo, and then you've got the whale tunnel where they used to drag the whales through. I think it's really spooky and cool. But yeah, it's one of my favourite places. Okay, another one of my favourite places in Walyalup is the Shipwreck Museum. It's super cool. I used to come here all the time. The actual Batavia is in here, which is crazy. You can see some skeletons with like holes in them and heaps of treasure. Like, who doesn't like treasure? This place is sick. I love it. Yeah. Woo. Hi, I'm here with Bon Scott and the Seagull, another great part of Fremantle that I enjoy.
I'm currently halfway up the skate ramp bowl thing, the skate thing in Bush Park, which is one of my favourite places around Freo. And I'm just about to go in. It's really busy today because it's a beautiful sunny Sunday and everybody's out and about. This is a really cool park and I love it. And I have a great story about somebody I met here once. I was in here teaching my boyfriend to play clarinet, which is quite a loud and not very pleasant process, you know, like it doesn't really sound that great when you first start learning. But we met this woman, Joanna, who had, was it Joanna? No, it was Joanne, I think. It was a year ago. She had her dog, whose name was Bella. I feel really bad that I remember the dog's name better than I remember her name. And she came up and she was like, oh, it's so nice that you guys are playing music in the park, and I was really happy to hear you, like, keep at it, keep going. And her dog was really lovely and fluffy and friendly, so we were glad to see them. And then the next time we were there, just like reading books in the sun, we saw her again. And we're like, oh, hey, how you going? And she's just telling us about like how she was about to go visit her daughter in Sydney, and we had another chat about like music and like how lovely the park was and whatever. And we got a photo of her on a film camera. And then after we got it developed, we were going to give it back to her. But we never saw her again. It's been a year and it's still in my backpack. So this is Bush, the kind of entrance sign to it. And it has these plaques which tell the story of what this place is and what it means. So this actually isn't technically part of Walyalup. The Bush division, apparently, is a slightly different place name. But I really like this plaque at the end here because it talks about how this area was used as like a gathering place. So they had these fairs and feasts and everyone would come around to trade like different foods that were available in different regions, and then they'd like enjoy the food together. It says, you know, things changed when the Wajala, like white people, came. But then in 1999, a healing ceremony was organised so the ancestors would know that, it says, we, the Noongar people, would be coming back with friends from all different cultures, and that we want to live in harmony and peace. We all know that our people from all over Australia are one, and will always share and care for each other, no matter where they come from, just the way it should be. In the year 2000, Bush was born again, this time as a park for all cultures. One of the things I love about this park is that it has a labyrinth. A labyrinth is not to be confused with a maze, actually, because a maze has many paths and it's meant to confuse you. But a labyrinth, you just kind of walk around and in a spiral, and you can hold a thought, or like traditionally a prayer or something, while you go around the spiral, and you use the curve of your footsteps to kind of contemplate whatever you're thinking about, and then you get to the center and you pause, and then you come back out the way you came. If you go up over this hill here, you can see where the water comes from that goes into the lake. It's really nice to be around the sound of water, I think. Most of the time when you go to that place where the water comes into the lake, there are heaps of cubby houses that kids have built, and I've seen some really well set up ones over the years, and sometimes they last for ages, like through storms and stuff. It's just a great place for cubby houses because it's very sheltered, and like the trees are quite low and curved over, and there's lots of like sticks and stuff to mess around with, so it's kind of a fun place. Okay, so this is the spot we were sitting in when we met the woman the first time. On second thought, I actually think that her name was Joan. I really like this spot because it probably doesn't come up on the video very well, but you can see the reflection of the water on the underside of these leaves of the peppermint tree. It's beautiful. And then there are all these ducks and swans and stuff. There are kids over that way like riding their scooters, and there's a tiny jetty that comes out behind those reeds. and I've actually got my backpack here, and in my backpack I have the photo in case I see her again, because I just have this photo of a random woman in my backpack and I can't do anything about it. Anyway, it's a really peaceful spot here. I would highly recommend coming and visiting. I have one more story about Bush Park to tell you, on the other side of the lake. Let us go. So I'm currently in a part of Bush Park that I think of as like the grassy knoll. It's a slight slope, and then there are all these trees just behind me, so it's like beautiful and shady, and it's a really good place to read a book or whatever. And I came here one time, and it was kind of like 4 or 5 o'clock, and then I was just lying down, chilling, listening to the crows and whatever, and the sun set, and I was like, okay, well, probably time to go. I stood up, I looked behind me over that way, and I could see like a light between the trees, and it looked like fire. So I walked towards it to see what was going on, and then I saw more. There were like several fires all around. I'll bring you over there and show you what it was. So I was walking through these trees trying to figure out what was going on, and I thought I saw tables, but it was one of those situations where your eyes are really, really struggling to make sense of what is going on. I came out onto this kind of track road thingy, and there was a marquee up that end, and there were all these things that I thought were tables with fires underneath, and then I realized it was actually baths, and there were people in all the baths, and I was like, I'm in the middle of a giant bath session. I like didn't want to look too hard in case everyone was naked, which I think they were in hindsight. I mean, you would be, wouldn't you, if you were having a bath? So I realized after a bit of research that it was part of 10 Nights in Port, where they had this thing where you could like go out and have like a wood fire bath in nature, and they'd give you like really nice bath stuff, I don't know, bath salts or whatever, stuff that smells nice, and they give you like champagne, I think, and snacks. And I got to this bit kind of on the right of that first tall conifer you see, and that's where the marquee was, and I walked through it, and I realized that I had kind of come out of the show backwards, and the people were like, what are you doing? Can I help you? And I was like, I don't know. I was very confused and lost, and also kind of jealous because I wanted to have a bath in the park. That looked sick. So I'm just about to leave Bush Park, and once again I have not seen Joan, which is very sad. Still have her photo in my backpack. But yeah, it's been a lovely day. I've enjoyed hanging out here, and thank you guys for walking with me.
Kaya, my name is Matthew. I'd like to share with you a special place to me in the Walyalup area. Here we are at Seaway O'Connor Beach Car Park on Walyalup Walking, but this isn't the spot. We're going to go on a little journey, go for a little walk, and I'll take you to the place I like to call the Acacia Caves. So we got a few different entrances to the Acacia Caves. A little trail going through there, another one here, another one there, but this is my favourite entrance. So come on in, don't get lost. I know you compromise. Such a wild sanctuary. Really inspires this innocence, this child playfulness in me, like when I was little and building cubbies with my brother and sister, and it's got that sort of story going on here, you know, very playful, very secluded, hidden. This place seems to hold a beautiful silence out of the noise of the city, the cars and the hustle and bustle. You can hear the ocean roaring and the wind blowing over the tops of the trees, but down in here seems to really hold a sense of sacred silence. It's interesting, you've got South Beach development on this side. It's closing in real fast, like new houses are being built every month, these big mansions, this quite high class privilege. And then on the other side you've got North Coogee, which is these huge mansions. They got their own little jetties and very high class privilege. And then in the middle here you just got unkept nature. On that side you've got their grass and their nice kept gardens. This side you got their grass and paths and their nice kept gardens, and you know, there's a path connecting them, and you go off the path in this space in between, and it's a home for so many little critters and little birds and little insects, and who knows, this place might not be here for too much longer with the new development closing in. Yeah, it's been a real special place for me living in Fremantle and exploring this and feeling like I'm out of the city, although I'm still right in it, but it's this breath of nature, breath of fresh air, away from the concrete. Yeah, I recommend checking it out and having a play, letting your inner child build a little cubby in here.